Welcome to the Verdin Verdict Sports Show. I'm your host, Jacob Verdin, joined by my guy, Drake Pellegrin, and we got a special guest in the stream, Carli Judice. Carli, how are you? How are things? I know you're preparing for a big fight here coming up, but got some time to relax, so we appreciate it.
Yep. Thank y'all. Thank you so much for having me. I'm obviously in the thick of camp right now. I got about a week left. This is the most exciting part. It's getting close. So yeah, we're fine tuning everything and getting ready to leave for New Orleans for fight week next week. So I'm excited.
So y'all just kind of fill me in on the camp process, the diet, the training, and just like the sparring aspect of it all. What do you do to fine tune everything before you get in there?
I like to have one more hard sparring session around a little bit before a week out. So that we had a hard sparring session last night. Me and Drake. Drake gave me my rounds. Just kind of looking for everything that we've been working on all camp, working on the game plan, making sure we're sticking to everything we've been working on. And this is the final week to make weight. So we weigh in next Friday. So just fine tuning everything on the diet side too, making sure I'm eating all the things I need to be eating to get me ready for that cut, making sure I'm fed enough to go into a big cut. It's not even that big, but to go into a weight cut. So all the little things that, we're tying up to get us ready. I think I'm peaking at the perfect time. I feel amazing. I feel great. So I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
I feel like that's the most important part of things. Like when I talk about sports, we talk about training and things like that. Like not a lot of people understand. Like, yeah, you're practicing, yeah, you're trying to get right for the game, but at the same time, that recovery side of it, you have to get your battery to 100%. So when it's time to perform, lights are on, you can just turn the right on, not be exhausted or not have any aches and pains and all kind of things like that throughout that process. Drake, fill me in on what you're doing with her and just like your vision on not only the growth you've seen from her throughout her time training with you, but just how excited you are going forward to be a part of this process.
Yeah, so we were talking about this sparring. We're not going to give away like everything that we're doing, but I'm going to say everything's working how we want it to work. I had to experience it firsthand yesterday. It was not a good time at all. But she's firing on all cylinders. She's got a lot of training in with Rose Namajunas during this camp. And literally like the last two camps, it's like sparring with a different fighter each time. Like last camp, fight week was brutal. She put it on me all week long. And then this one is like even worse, but she's just getting so much better in between each fight. We've been working a lot on the grappling. Her takedown defense right now is on point. I'm 30 pounds heavier than her, and it's still very difficult to get her to the floor and even harder to keep her there. So I think this is going to be a great night.
I agree. That sounds good already. I was looking at your record, 4-2, 4 wins, all by first round knockout. Whenever you're walking out there, is it I mean, I don't want you to tip your hand or anything, but is there like a amount of nerves that you have to battle back? Or are you just locked in and focused? And you're like, nah, I'm ready. All the work I put in is going to lead me to the confidence I have at this point. Or what's the mindset like walking out there?
Honestly, every fight I've had, the nerves are a little different, right? And then when you get to a bigger stage, the nerves are a little different, but you're still nervous. So you're always nervous when you're walking up there, just different types, slightly different. My last two fights I had my nerves were a little they weren't as bad as they used to be, especially my last one because I trusted so much in everything that I had done to prepare that I had no nerves. I knew I was going to go in there and do everything that we were working on, and that's what happened. For my debut, I think my nerves took over a little bit. I was confident, but not as confident in my preparation, just because I think the debut, my first time on the big stage, I think it got to me a little bit. But I'm going into this fight week with the same amount of confidence I did as the last one because I know that I left no stone unturned. I did every single thing I could, and like I said earlier, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling like I can put full trust in my abilities and not think and just go out there and just trust my body to do everything we've been working on because that's how many reps we've hit this camp, how much training we've done in all the areas that I needed that I was slacking on. So yeah, I just full trust in my body gives me confidence and I'm ready to show it.
Whenever in this sport, I feel like it's important in sports in general. It's important to have the focus, and it's important to have like that. What's the word? Muscle memory, right? You don't want it to be in your conscious mind. You'd rather be in your subconscious mind, so you can just react and be able to pull from what you've done in camp. How do you balance the distractions, the training, the recovery, life in general, and then still being that sharp in the octagon. Because I feel like the room for error in all sports, yeah, it's small, but in this sport, it's minuscule. I mean, it's fraction.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of goes along with the confidence of preparation. That's kind of how I balance it. Is I just put all my trust into my muscle memory, like you said. I put all of my trust into everything that I do every day, and you just let it go. That's when I perform my best. Is when I let it go and I'm having fun. When I start thinking too much and start, oh, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this. That's when everything locks up. When I just will go in there and I look at the person that I'm about to fight, and like I tell myself, I'm about to hurt this girl. Like, it's not like, oh, I'm gonna throw this. It's like I'm gonna hurt you, and then my body just follows with what we've been working on for the past 8 weeks, and just freely. So I think that's how I balance it. Is just let go, let loose.
I feel like that's what you're gonna have to do. I mean, look, if I was in there, I'd be tense. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know how comfortable I would be, but I'm gonna take it as a comparison to like a golf or a football. Like just lock in, stay loaded whenever the moment's ready, capitalize. But like I said, margin of error, it shrinks. It shrinks a lot.
It was really cool to see that focus last time we were there, and see just like she was so loose and in the moment and just ready to go hurt this girl. Like from backstage to in the cage, I saw it every step of the way. Like when we were in the octagon, the girl took like 10 minutes to do her walkout. Like she's like hugging everyone in the crowd, like saying prayers, like giving speeches to every person on her team. And Carli looked at us when we were in the corner, and she's like, this girl's trying to put on a show right now. I'm about to put on a show. And for her to have that presence of mind and stay locked in and not get annoyed with what was happening, then go in and
I love it.
Yeah, put on the real show.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I don't know what happened.
I think it all just went at once.
Yeah, I lost you for a second there.
Because the whole week, the UFC and everybody was trying to hype the girl up because she was coming off a big knockout. So all week I just saw, her face was plastered all over social media. They didn't even show my walkout. They only showed hers. This big long show she was trying to put on. And I just remember thinking, like, she's here for all the wrong reasons. Like, I'm just here to punch you in the face, to put you to like make you fall on your face, and you're here to like say, post pictures, weird pictures, do all this, like all her just like, it's just everything was a show. And I was like, you're putting on a show, that people want to see, but I'm about to like, that's what I just remember thinking. Like I was just so serious. I turned to them and was like, yeah, y'all about to see the real show. Like everybody thinks this girl, they're trying to make her seem like it's, but anyway, yeah. So it didn't like spark something in me too. It was like, this girl really thinks she's about to come in here and do something. I'm gonna hurt her. Like it made me, made me want to hurt her even more. But yeah, that was a good night. That was fun.
I think you wanted to hurt her even before. Yep. Even before that, I think you wanted to hurt her because we were backstage and Carli was eating her pre-fight snack and got peanut butter on her gloves. And she looked at me and goes, I hope that bitch is allergic to peanut butter.
So you got to eat with the gloves on?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I already had my hands wrapped and everything. I had some like peanut butter and honey stuck to my gloves. I was like, oh, well, we walking out with this.
Hey, it's a little snack for later. A little snack for in the middle of the round. Didn't even have to, though.
Yeah, just lick it.
What is that pre-fight vibe like in the locker room? Like, are y'all just like this, shooting the BS, just trying to chill out, have some, just some relaxation a little bit? Or are you trying to lock in, sparring? Like, take me through that process before you walk out.
It's a little bit of both. I try to stay, my normal self, and most of the time I'm like joking around, just throwing like weird jokes in every once in a while, but also, know that the situation we're in is serious and the moment is big, but also not making it bigger than it is, so relaxing and hanging everybody, but also we're starting, like you said, we're wrapping our hands, we're about to walk out, we got to warm up. And I feel the most in the moment. My last warm up for my last fight, I was seeing everything was sharp, but I didn't let that overtake me. Like I wasn't letting the moment stress me out. I was still having fun. I was having fun warming up. Like I was like, ooh, this is fun. This is about to be fun. So yeah, I think that's important for going out there, because when you start locking up and taking everything too serious, goes back to what we were saying earlier. It makes the fight harder when you tense up like that, especially in the back when you're warming up. I spend time with my coaches all the time. We're together almost every day of the week. So, just we're sitting waiting to fight, just like talking to them like normal instead of like making it a weird situation.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm planning to do for this next one too.
Yeah, because it's hard to like simulate that environment until you're really in it. But then once you're in it, I feel like going back to your roots, doing the things that you've been doing in practice or in training, it kind of gets you into that flow state. We're like, all right, nah, it's cool. We've been around this block before. Drake, what kind of role do you play in that? Like, what are you trying to do in there to not only get her into the flow state, like we said, but just be there supportive in any endeavor really, or just any field?
I think it's just like having calm presences around her during the fight week. Like none of us had any doubt last fight. Like the week of the day of the fight, it didn't feel like we were going into this giant moment, and like everyone's hyping she's fighting up. It didn't feel that way for us. Like we woke up that morning and it felt like we get to go do this today. Like this is gonna be great. She's gonna smoke this girl, and we all know it. And we're gonna be calm, enjoy the process, enjoy the moment, and get it done. And then I had to get beat up in the locker room beforehand, but that's fine.
A part of the process, just a small sacrifice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
But
dial it
everyone
back
around
to
us knew it. Like even the other coaches, whenever we were warming up, everyone watching her warm up was like, she's about to kill this girl. Like
everybody
you
on
could feel that
notice.
energy coming off of her.
I agree, especially at least in my opinion. Like I wouldn't want to go against the calm, collected fighter, not the person that's sitting there like we keep using the word flow state, but I'm gonna use it again. It just looks like everything's so fluid. Like I mean the fighter that's talking and all this stuff like that has merit, but there's also kind of a unnerving element to someone being like, nah, I'm ready to close the cage.
Mm-hmm.
Let's dial it back to your time at
Yep.
college at McNeese, right? So I looked you up. Softball? How do you make that switch from softball to now knocking people out? It seems like a drastic switch.
Yeah, I mean, my parents always said growing up I was the type to just lash out every once in a while. Like someone I always had anger issues growing up, especially playing softball. By no means does that mean, I fight. I don't fight with emotion like I don't fight an angry fighter. When I used to strike out in softball, I would throw my bat, throw my helmet. But I was a teenager. Now I'm an adult, so I know how to channel my emotions. But I've always had that like that I can pop off any minute. So I think I've always had that aggression. But yeah, I mean, I played softball my whole entire life. I quit when I was about 20. I left college. I moved back home to Lafayette. I was just burnt out with it, dude. I had great coaches growing up, but I also had coaches that, weren't the best for me mentally. And I was also a teenager, early 20s. I didn't know how to handle my emotions. I didn't know how to handle failure. So I think, me not performing well in college, when I finally got there, I was just kind of like, oh, well, I don't want to do this anymore. So I did give up, but I gave up on something to lead me to where I was really meant to be all along, which is, fighting, doing MMA, and I'm thriving because I'm an adult now. I know how to handle failure. I know how to handle my emotions and use them. And I know how to work hard now just because from what I came from, like I've always competed, and I've always trained, I've always practiced for something. So I've just channeled it different in the sport.
And talk about like your early fighting days, and I guess if you have a moment where you knew like, oh, all right, yeah, I can do this full time. I could be a professional fighter.
I mean, I fought amateur for. I started my first amateur fight was a year after I ever threw my first punch. My coach, and then 6 months after I ever did my first jujitsu class, had my first MMA fight. So, I didn't know till about probably my fourth amateur fight. Whenever I beat a girl that was she had like 60 kickboxing fights. I think her record was like she only had lost 9 out of 60 or something. It was just something crazy, and people were, didn't know how I was going to do against someone with so much experience and that was so good at kickboxing and boxing. And then I ended up beating her, and then that like sparked something in me like, wait, can I like actually beat people that are good? Because you can go out there and beat people with not a lot of experience or the same experience as you. When you beat somebody that's good and it's like legit, and you start to think, okay, well maybe I can do this. And I think that was a snowball. And from there we couldn't find any more amateur fights. So then I went straight from pro after my fourth amateur fight. And then I just started, getting knockouts, and not a lot of females get knockouts. So I was like, okay, well, maybe I can go somewhere with this. So I just kept showing up. I tell those people this story all the time, and it's not, I guess, not something to be proud of, but I'm proud of it now looking back. Whenever I started MMA, I had came back to Lafayette to go to school, and I was just at a community college, and I was doing school and training, and I had a 4.0 in high school. I had a 4.0 at McNeese, and when I was training martial arts and doing school, I was failing all my classes, not because I'm stupid. I just didn't do anything. I was like, well, I got to go to practice. I'm not doing this, this
Right.
homework. I'm not going to class. I'm not doing this. So pretty much I like flunked out of school to be a fighter. And from the outside looking in, it's like, that's a stupid thing you can do. But looking back, that's the smartest thing and the best decision I've ever made. Someone asked me one
Mm-hmm.
time, what's your plan B if you don't make it to UFC? And after he asked me that, I was like, maybe I should go back to school. And I remember my fiance at the time, she was like, why would you let that idiot put that in your brain? You've never had a plan B and you are where you are. So why would you let him put that in your brain? And I had a moment of thinking about a plan B. And ever since then, once I got my head right, I was like, no, I've always had a plan A. Like, I'm doing this, I'm doing it to the best of my ability. And I am where I am, I feel like, because of it. So not to say, drop out of school, everybody, but I
Right.
just always felt like I had something deep within me, and I've always felt like I was meant to be an athlete. And here I am, and I trusted myself, and yeah, it's cool to look back on.
No, I love that because when you know, and when you're fueled by the right things, I feel like it makes it easier. Especially because, like, talking about the plan B thing, I feel like if you have a plan B, not in every instance, but in some instances, it's just kind of like an inkling of doubt a little bit, or just like, if I can't make this work, I'm gonna go ahead and slide to this endeavor. But if you're all locked in on one thing, eggs in one basket, so to speak, you got to make it work. So, you had a
Yep.
little bit of motivation there. Talk to me about when the UFC reached out to you and like your reaction to that. I'm sure it was one of those moments where it was like life changing. You're really excited, but then also it's that conception like, all right, you didn't like make it to the end. Now, quite frankly, the journey is just beginning, and now you got to lock back in even more.
Yeah, I mean, it was like so off guard when they called me, right? Because it was a 10 days notice contender series call because someone had pulled out and they just needed somebody to fill in. So it was a lot. Like, I knew that I didn't have time to prepare for the biggest stage, for the biggest moment of my life, because I only had 10 days. So I was purely going off of everything, all the skills that I had built from when I started training until that moment. And I was like, okay, so I'm not prepping for the fight. I don't have a fight camp. I'm just going in there and giving everything I have for this moment. So it was definitely nerve wracking. I remember crying that whole day, just overcome with like weird emotions. Like, how am I gonna do this? Like, is this even possible? Like, it just felt so surreal, but also a lot of happiness. So yeah, but then we went in there, and that me and my coach talk about it all the time. That fight was pure just heart. Like, because I was not ready for it. Like, I wasn't training. I was training, but I wasn't sparring, getting ready for contender series fight. I just gave everything I had, and it was a 15-minute war, and ended up getting a contract. So yeah, I just remember that day that I got the call. I'll never forget it. I remember every moment of that day. It was the start of, like you said, just the beginning of some of the best times of my life. So I'm forever grateful for that day.
Drake, you could chime in on this one too. What advice would y'all have for a younger version of yourself? But I mean, if it helps, just generally younger fighters. But I always like to ask people this: like, what would you tell a younger version of you with everything that you know now, all your experiences, lessons, yada yada yada?
You can go first.
I was thinking about this the other day. If I could tell myself something, I would tell myself to calm down, relax. Like, I was so freaking out about everything. If I screwed up one time, that was, I would like getting batting slumped. If I struck out once, I would strike out the whole tournament, the whole weekend. And it's like, just relax. Like, you get another chance. You get another day to be better. Get another moment to shine, but not if you screw it up for yourself. So that's the difference between younger me and me now. I don't think one thing I do wrong is it doesn't define me. And as a kid and as a teenager, I did. So I would tell younger people, just take it moment by moment, and don't let little things get to you. Just chill out. Just have fun with what you're doing. Don't overstress yourself about things. So yeah, that's my advice.
I like it.
I would say, like, for my younger self, I don't think that I would say anything to like make myself do anything differently, because I bet on myself and decided that I was going to move to Lafayette and chase this dream whenever I didn't have anything. Like, we didn't have any money. I was fresh out of boot camp. I didn't have a secure job because I was in the reserve, so I didn't have a way to make money when I got out here. I just knew that I wanted to be a professional fighter, and I was going to do whatever it took. So I wouldn't change anything, because I was starving for it. I wanted it so bad. I wanted it more than anything in the world, and I went make it happen because it's what I wanted.
I love it. And I feel like, once again, that's why the sport is so unique, because the people that are participating actively in it are sacrificing everything to be able to lock in on this. And it's so brutal. I feel like in every single path, like the training path, but more importantly, at least the thing that I focus on, the recovery path. Like, after a fight, people forget about how long you're going to be out of commission or recovering or rehabilitating. Take me through those processes for y'all, and just how you, like, what's the big picture to keep motivating you through all of these, I'm not going to say low points, because it's not always a low point, but when it gets to that, or it's not, the high highs, how are you pushing forward?
I don't know. I feel like for me at least, and for a lot of athletes, it's about a little bit about money and fame. Like, obviously you want to make a living for you and your family and things like that, and with fame comes a little bit of money. But I feel like for most athletes, what we really want deep down is just like to be better, like be a better person, be a better athlete. It's like all these other things are extra, but like recovering after fights, and if you coming back from losses and things like that, it's like what really matters is the growth that happens so deep within you that people don't even see. There's the growth that you feel, people will see later, but it's all internal stuff that we work through. And I feel like that comes a lot with post fight recovery, post failure recoveries, is just like that's where the real growth happens, and the deepest of that's where you find the deep stuff, and it really comes to light and you figure it out. But yeah, I don't know if I answered that question correctly, but yeah, just self growth for athletes is like my biggest thing, and that's what I strive for, is like, how can I just be better and be the best athlete, be the best person, be the best friend, whatever it is, to the people around me and to myself. So yeah, that's what I got. What about you, Drake?
So I would say most of the struggling that comes with fighting for me isn't necessarily like the post fight, like dealing with injuries and stuff like that. Like, I have a pretty good mindset when it comes to that stuff to like get me through it. The hard parts of this for me was like whenever we had our son, and like realizing how much sacrifice I was making, and not wanting to take away from them, and feeling like what I was doing was like a selfish endeavor. And what kind of got me through that was like realizing that one day he's going to have a dream too. And I want to show him what's possible whenever you have something that you love and you chase it with everything you have, and how rewarding of a journey that can be, because I feel like I'm such a better person and I'm such a different person than I would have been without this, and that's going to make me a better father to him than if I were to just quit because I want to be around him more.
I agree. That's a good setting the example. And then I agree with you, dog. I feel like you've grown a lot in terms of just, you know, being a man in general, right? Since I've met you. And then every single thing that you do, like, a lot of people measure it through like the good moments of success, yada, yada, yada. But as Carli was saying too, in a loss or in a failure, in a moment where you're kind of in like a little bit of a mini slump, that's where the most growth happens. Like, that's when you really find yourself. That's when you push yourself to that limit that you sometimes didn't think you can get to. So I like to talk about stuff like that. Let's end it off. I'm about to get y'all out of here. Just talk to me about how cool it'll be. UFC 318 in New Orleans. It's been about a decade since the UFC is back in the boot. And then it's a hell of a card too, right? Dustin Poirier's retiring, final fight, Lafayette connection. What's that like? And hype me up for it.
Yeah, dude. I mean, Dustin Poirier has paved. Literally, this sounds like so like what you hear on a commercial, but he paved the way for fighters in Louisiana and fighters from small towns that people don't believe in to really just push through all the doubt, push through everything, and be somebody and be something. And he's the only reason this fight's coming back to Louisiana, right? Not just because it's his retirement fight, but like he had to put so much work in for it to happen. Like he had to, really talk the UFC into doing it because it was a lot, but he made it happen. And I feel like this is a true, Dustin's heading out, and I'm heading in. I feel like it's a true moment of like, I'm for now, I'm taking over, hopefully starting my career when he's ending his, right? And then there's gonna be so many other fighters to follow me, not when I'm retiring, but like in a few years. Like Drake's coming up. I got people from Head Kicks at my gym that's coming up that's gonna be there soon. Like all these other fighters from Louisiana, like I said earlier, Dustin paved the way, and we're all coming for it, and we're all chasing this dream. But we know it's possible because we've seen Dustin do it. Drake, I think came up a little even closer to Dustin. He's rolled with him, he's trained with him, and he's a great guy. And he I feel like he pours into athletes and lets them know that it's possible. He lets us know that we can do it just like he did.
Taking
I
the
agree
337
100%.
torch.
I agree 100%. Like I was saying earlier with me moving to Lafayette, that decision doesn't happen without a Dustin Poirier. Without someone like him to show me that it's even possible for people like us to make it, then I don't know if I ever leave Houma, Louisiana, and maybe I just like compete in jiu-jitsu for fun and get a normal job. But because of him and seeing his success where he comes from, I moved to Lafayette. I bet on myself, and now I get to be there for his final fight. I get to be there for the start of Carli's journey into the UFC, and then I strongly believe that I'm going to be there with them soon, and we're going to show how great fighters from Lafayette, Louisiana can be.
I know it. It's only gonna
Yeah.
keep elevating from here. It's just the beginning.
Someone
Gonna
asked.
be
This is just a little extra. Someone asked me yesterday, like, what's in the water over there in Louisiana? Like, why are there so many good fighters that come out of there and like make names for themselves? And my answer was, I think it's the doubt that people put on fighters from Louisiana that really like drive us to prove people wrong. Some people let the doubt get to them and fade away, but the fighters that really make it are the ones that's like, people like, oh, a Louisiana fighter, I'm not watching that. Like they're gonna win a few, but they're not really that good. But I think that's what drives some of us is like, okay, watch us, even if it takes a little while, just watch. We're gonna show them. And that's what Dustin did. Daniel Cormier, all the fighters from Louisiana just have a lot of doubt but put on them, but they overcome it. So that was my answer to that question, but that was just a little extra I wanted to throw in there because when he asked me that, I was like, I really had to think about it, and I was like, yeah, that could definitely make some good fighters. A little bit of doubt.
I wonder why people would doubt the boot though. I feel like that's one of the last states that I'm doubting. I don't know.
Because we're not Dagestani wrestlers or Thai kickboxers. We're just like some swamp rats, some Nutra rats, or whatever it is down here.
A little bit of Cajun fire. That's all. So a little bit of extra motivation. Well, I appreciate your time and best of luck. The plan is I'm gonna be there in attendance. We'll see. I'm checking the tickets. I'm looking every day, looking every single day. But I'm for sure gonna be covering it. I'm gonna be covering every single thing from you from here on out. Appreciate your time, Drake. Appreciate yours as well. Looking forward to seeing you grow and come back on the show, man. Come on, we'll get this going.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yep.
Let them know where to follow y'all on socials. I'm gonna put all your socials in the descriptions and whatnot, all your links. But you go ahead and drop your accounts or any projects or anything coming up. Obviously, besides 318.
Yep. My Instagram is Crispy Carli J. So give me a follow. But watch my fight next weekend, July 19th on ESPN. I'm the first fight on the early prelims, still on the early prelims for a while now. But 5:15 Central Time. Catch it. You're not gonna want to miss it. It's gonna be great. You'll probably even see Drake's face back there too. He's gonna be in my corner.
Where they can follow you, Drake?
My Instagram is Drake P MMA, and yeah, like she said, I'll be in the corner cheering whenever she knocks this girl out next weekend.
Coaching it on. I'm excited. I'm gonna be tapped in. Appreciate your time again, and y'all have a good one.